Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Arirang News Break. I'm Han-daeun in Seoul. We start with the April 13th general election. With early voting set to begin tomorrow, it's another busy day of campaigning for the candidates looking to secure seats in Korea's National Assembly. But the main parties have not been able to put much space between them and the competition. Our Ji Myung-gil for us this afternoon.
With under a week to go before Koreans cast their ballots, opinion polls show races in a number of electoral districts are too close to call. Therefore, the leaders of the ruling Saenuri Party, main opposition Minju Party of Korea, and newly formed minor opposition People's Party have started stumping for their party candidates in Seoul and other metropolitan cities. 122 seats are up for grabs in Seoul and its surrounding Gyeonggi-do province, making up nearly half of the 253 electoral seats. The ruling party has seen its voter support turn relatively sour in Seoul and metropolitan areas, according to polls conducted by Real Meter from April 1st to 4th, following a nasty power struggle last month over candidate nominations. The Minju Party dealing with a split of votes caused by the splinter People's Party isn't in much better shape. However, the Real Meter polls show that the surging popularity of the People's Party is making it a powerful challenger to the two main parties in the run-up to the April 13th contest. As the three parties scramble to garner public support, a two-day early voting period will start on Friday. Voters can cast their ballots in some 3,500 polling booths nationwide from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Korea time. Ji Myung-gil, Arirang News.
It was an earnings surprise for Samsung Electronics. The Korean tech giant posted stronger than expected earnings in first 3 months of this year, mainly due to strong sales of its new smartphone models, the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. Kim Min-ji reports.
Samsung Electronics posted better than expected earnings in the first quarter of this year. According to the company's earnings guidance, operating profits stood at roughly $5.7 billion during the January to March period, up more than 10% from a year ago. Sales edged up almost 4% on year to over $42 billion. The operating profit estimate beats the recent market consensus of about $4.8 billion. Analysts attribute the surprise earnings to better than expected sales of Samsung's new flagship smartphone models released last month. Sales are estimated at over 10 million units so far. On top of that, Samsung is expected to have benefited from favorable currency effects. A stronger greenback means more profits as transactions of components are made using the dollar, and for finished goods, it means products gain price competitiveness in overseas markets. Sales of Samsung's premium chips are also expected to have given its semiconductor arm a boost. The guidance figure does not break down performance by sector. The company's finalized earnings will be announced later this month. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
The Korean government has declared a war on sugar in a fight to tackle rising obesity and diabetes rates in the country. Korea's Ministry of Food and Drug Safety announced a 4-year plan this morning to lower national sugar intake levels to less than 10% of a person's daily diet. On average, that works out to about 17 sugar cubes a day. Studies have shown that people who consume more than that are 66% more likely to have high blood pressure and 41% more likely to get diabetes. The government will also make sugar labeling clearer and put warnings on products with high sugar content. The move comes a day after a WHO study on diabetes that revealed the number of adults with the chronic disease has quadrupled worldwide to 422 million in less than 40 years. South Korea and the International Atomic Energy Agency held high-level talks in Seoul this morning in which they discussed ways for stronger cooperation and how to effectively deal with global nuclear proliferation issues. The two sides, led by Deputy Minister for Multilateral and Global Affairs Choi Jong-moon and IAEA Deputy Director General Tero Valoranta, focused on the nuclear threat posed by North Korea amid concerns of a fifth nuclear test. They also discussed ways to strengthen nuclear safety measures. This is the fourth round of consultations, which began in 2013 and comes ahead of an IAEA ministerial meeting on nuclear security later this year, to be chaired by Seoul's Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se. With the Panama Papers scandal in the headlines, it has emerged that over $2.3 billion worth of shares on Korea's main bourse are owned by offshore companies in international tax havens. This according to conglomerate tracker Chaebol.com, which assessed foreign investors that hold more than 5% of their shares on the KOSPI. Some analysts argue that among those investors, there are so-called black-haired foreigners or Koreans who have set up paper companies in places like Panama or the Cayman Islands to stash their assets tax-free. Korea's Financial Supervisory Service will investigate the 195 Koreans listed in the Panama Papers to see if they violated the Foreign Exchange Transaction Act. A team of scientists from the U.S. and Germany has discovered an enormous black hole with a mass equivalent to 17 billion suns. The black hole is located in the center of a galaxy that is 200 million light years away from Earth, a region of space where nothing, including light, can escape because of the strong gravitational effects. The scientists speculate that a collision of two black holes created the supermassive cosmic entity. The discovery was published in the latest edition of Nature magazine. And that does it for today's edition of Arirang News Break. Keep it tuned to Arirang for more news throughout the day.